John Crawley comes in at number 4. And for Australia, there's a change in captaincy, of course. Steve Waugh batting at number 3. Matthew Elliott, left-hander from Victoria, prolific scorer. He comes in, and Justin Langer, too, a stocky left-hander, very successful without really cementing a test place so far. The umpires, Mervyn Kitchen, George Sharp, and third umpire, Alan Jones, and confirmation that England won the toss and will field first. The weather forecast, dry, plenty of sunshine with patchy clouds, a bit breezy out there, still in that chill wind, but all set fair really, and a good pitch, at least I think so. Let's check that out now with Geoffrey Boycott.
Well, the most important part of a pitch is the length. You're not going to get short balls or bouncers in one-day cricket. It's round about here, and if we close in, we'll see it's one of the old Lord's pitches, and it's got lots of cracks on. It's a very tired surface. That's why every year they're digging up one or two pitches, trying to make them quicker and better. Cracks everywhere. I think the groundsman staff have done a really good job. It's very dry, quite firm. I don't think they could have done anything better at this time of year, but you can't stop these cracks appearing. And I think we might get just a little bit of an uneven bounce. It won't bounce too high, so it'll be different from the Oval yesterday, where it was a true bounce and a quite high bounce. Here, it'll be stump high, come through quite nicely, and in a day it's not going to deteriorate too much. So all in all, it's as good as they could prepare on an old tired surface here at Lord's.
With Father Time watching from his new position, and with me in the commentary box, Richie Benno and Chris Broad. But first, David Gower with Geoffrey Boycott. Let's join play at the first over, the 6th ball, 2 runs on the board. Gough to Elliott.
That's got him. Matthew Elliott's gone. Nice comfortable catch at second slip. Adam Holyoake, the catcher. So Matthew Elliott inside today, replacing Mark Taylor and emulating Mark Taylor.
Well, it's a good ball moving down the slope. It was a poor shot playing a long way away from his body. Just gave the second slip a very easy catch.
Elliott gone for 1. England have another good start, as Australia lose their first wicket with a score on just 2. And Steve Waugh, captain for the day, makes his way out to the middle. England winning the toss for the 3rd successive time, and also for the 3rd successive time opting to ask Australia to bat first. Well, that's 4. Mark Waugh very quickly into his stride this morning.
Yeah, typical Mark Waugh, economy of movement. Has a lovely, fluent, flowing style.
That's a good shot. Too close to leg stump. That's a strong point for Mark Waugh. And that's an expensive opening over for Chris Silverwood. That's going to be 4 more. Well, anything over pitch today has been instant 4 runs for Mark Waugh. That's his 3rd boundary already. Well, a despairing dive, not enough to cut it off. Just took a wee bit of the pace off it. But Australia off to a cracking start. 10 off this over. Well, this outfield this morning looks to be in very good nick. The ball has run across it very quickly. All bodes well for a high-scoring match.
Yes, Chris Silverwood bowling to both sides of the wickets, really. He's not bowled his best for Yorkshire this year. Bowled all right, but nothing special. Lost a little bit of confidence.
Just wide. It was in the air. And in the end, 4 runs. So what for a moment looked like a sniff of a chance. Once again, it's 4 runs, and the scoring rate hardly slows at all.
Yes, it's a wristy flick. It sort of goes in the air, but fortunately it goes straight into the gap.
That's 4 more. Well, it's imperious stuff from Mark Waugh. It really does look in wonderful touch. 50 comes up at the end of the 8th over.
Oh, goodness me. What a catch. We'll see a lot of great catches and some splendid fielding during this summer with England and the Australians playing. But I'm not sure you'll see anything much better than that, no matter what the form of cricket. Thick outside edge. And that is very, very good.
Yes, he had to make quite a bit of room, low down as well, at full stretch. Got to give him top marks for that. Thorpe it was at first slip. That sees the end of Steve Waugh.
Well, it is a very strange game because yesterday Graham Thorpe couldn't keep the ball in his hands. Bobbled around everywhere, all over the ground. He fumbled it and kicked it, and today he's taken a blinder. A new batsman is Michael Bevan. He comes out to join Mark Waugh. Mark Waugh is in great form, 32. Bevan just getting his muscles working out the century at the Oval yesterday. Just went away a fraction off the seam to find the outside edge of Steve Waugh's bat. Beautifully taken by Thorpe. Lovely start from Michael Bevan, in form, confident from yesterday's century. And 60 on the board now for the Australians. So Chris Silverwood has done some damage to a hand in fielding, perhaps in sliding for a ball. It just called for some very quick attention. Twelfth man to replace Silverwood is Nick Knight. And I think this is where it happened, where the injury occurred with Silverwood. He goes into the backing up position. Now, just watch what he does with his right hand. And I'm told that he split the webbing on his right hand between thumb and first finger in New Zealand. It might just be a bit of damage to that. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Might just be something that needs a bit of quick attention. No doubt about that. That's another good catch. That came at a tremendous rate of knots to Nick Knight. And Darren Gough has his 3rd wicket. Bevan has gone. The lovely spell of bowling from Gough. He's been impressive in the first 2 of the Texaco games, and he's carried that on today.
Yes, bowler and batsman know each other well. Having played a couple of years at Yorkshire together, but Darren Gough, as I've been saying before, is in top form. His confidence is high. He really does fancy his chances, and he's got some rich reward this morning. Nice smart catch by the substitute, Nick Knight. Went quite quickly, but he's got a great pair of hands. That sees the back of the high-quality one-day cricketer Michael Bevan.
New batsman is Justin Langer, a left-hander from Western Australia, a very prolific scorer in Australian cricket. And Silverwood is about to bowl. 67 for 3. He was off the field for 14 minutes. And come back on and bowl straight away. and short. Silverwood went off the field with a hand injury. To say he might have lost his run there.
Well, he's bowling at a different end. He started at the nursery end, and they are totally different ends here at Lord's. Having to bowl from the pavilion end, slope of the pitch as well, confuses a lot of players. Some far more experienced than young Silverwood.
And now a beautiful shot, over-pitched on leg stump, and that's beautifully placed and superbly timed. That'll give him a lot of confidence, Justin Langer.
Well, Silverwood just getting the line slightly wrong here, pitching just outside leg stump. And any left-hander worth their salt will be able to put that one away. Justin Langer certainly did that with ease.
Nick Knight is walking on for a second spell as substitute fielder because Darren Gough is going off. Well, it's 4 more. Again over-pitched, beautifully struck. Fast batting from Mark Waugh, and that's Mark Waugh's 50. He's played with proper responsibility, played some lovely strokes. But Darren Gough has come back on. Some reports say that he's twisted the back. Clearly the aggravation is the shoulder, and that's how he did it.
Well, that's got to be very close. It's shot through low. Might just have taken some inside edge or something.
Well, Croft has bowled well since he's come on. Second over. He's got a couple to go back up the hill here. This one has come back up the hill, and, well, was there an inside edge there, or... I think that confirms it. Well, he's the younger brother of Adam. Seems to be a Holyoke week. Adam has certainly done a terrific job in the first 2 one-day internationals. Now Ben's opportunity.
That's pretty well hit, and 4 runs. That's the shortest boundary here at Lord's today. Crawley was only about 6 or 7 metres from the spot where the ball eventually crossed the boundary line, but had no chance. Very deftly played, that late cut. Yes, another boundary for Mark Waugh. So Mark Waugh could be on for a really big score. Australia also. At the moment they're scoring at 5.68. As long as they keep this partnership going for a while, there's a really big score in the offing here. Justin Langer now adding his bit to it. Coming back for the second, having a rush. Now umpire Mervyn Kitchen asking for another opinion. Alex Stewart had to make a bit of ground there. The throw was just marginally wide from Chris Silverwood.
Well, I think the general feeling from out in the middle is that Justin Langer got back. We'll see. Chris Silverwood took a little bit of time to get rid of the ball, and that was the key. Throw not bad. Well, it's close. It's close, and it could well be out.
Well, the ball's in Alex Stewart's hands. The bails are off. And Justin Langer is a good 6 inches short of his ground. He's also been adjudged short of the crease at the other end. 1 short was called as they turned. And so he's run out for 29. Australia are 142 for 4. And the wicket comes at a good time there for England. And Adam Gilchrist is the new batsman. Over the top. That's very well struck. That's just cleared mid-on. Well, it wasn't as convincing as the previous shot. The result is just the same. It's still worth 4. Well, that's gone very quickly and very fine. So Adam Hollyoake's first ball whistles down to the long leg boundary. England's line hasn't been quite so good today overall. Well, that's close, and that's got him. Well, Darren Gough keeps England in the game. That's his 4th wicket of the day. And a very handy one indeed. Mark Waugh has been in scintillating form. Just coming back down the hill a bit. And that's plumb. Right in front of the stumps, just cut down the hill a bit there, beaten the shot. And the end of a brilliant innings by Mark Waugh. Five runs short of what would have been his 11th one-day international century. Still great entertainment from Mark Waugh. And the new man, Ian Healy.
Well, this was symptomatic of England's good fielding throughout the Texaco. They've been sharp and on the toes. Very few misfields. Well, I've just been praising the quality of the fielding. There is Graham Lloyd, just taking it a little bit sloppily. One-handed when 2 would have been better. Most of the time the fielding has been good. Just been the odd lapse, the odd bumble or fumble. Here's one where just a little casual, trying to be a little clever with one hand when it's better to use 2 hands.
Good shot. Beautiful pickup. It was a slower ball, but it was picked up beautifully. Lovely timing, and that's 6 over square leg.
Well, the attempted slower ball wasn't quite so well disguised, and also it was a full toss going down leg side, so it got a good smack into the crowd.
He's in good form. Dancing down the pitch there and striking that quite beautifully straight down the ground. Oh dear. Well, all the brilliant fielding hasn't disintegrated, but just been 1 or 2 little misfields on the ground. Now the drop catch.
There have been some brilliant things, but 1 or 2 little sloppy things. There was a Graham Thorpe miscatch yesterday. This one's on a similar ease. It wasn't too difficult, just an awkward height maybe.
LBW. Similar type dismissal to the one that got Gilchrist yesterday. Right armour bowling over the wicket, and the umpire needing only to decide if the ball is pitched in line with the stumps.
Well, the beauty about Mark Elam is he bowls wicket to wicket, bowls very close in at the bowling end, and anything that pitches on the stumps is going to be very close for the umpire to give a decision on.
New batsman joining Ian Healy is Shane Warne. That's a good shot from Healy. He is very good at just chipping the ball away over the infield, keeping it away from anyone who's out at deep mid-wicket or long on.
He's had plenty of opportunity in his career to come in at this stage, move the scoring rate along. And he picked out a gap there at deep mid-wicket, found it to perfection.
And he's gone, there's no problem about that. He was surprised by the movement down the hill, but he needn't be, because that happens quite often here at Lord's. The ball will always run down the slope from the end from which Elam's bowling, nursery end, away it goes.
Well, it's a standard delivery for Mark Elam. As I mentioned earlier, he gets in very close to the stumps and he makes the batsman play. This delivery pitched on the stumps, left Shane Warne, had to play at it, just got the faintest of nicks through to Alex Stewart. Australian innings is somewhat falling away at the moment.
New batsman is Michael Kasprowicz.
Here is a swipe to a good length delivery which goes for 4.
Slower ball, and he picked it right at the last fraction of a second and just went through with a stroke. Looked as though he was going to do something else, but just watch the replay and see what he does right as the ball is just a yard or so from him.
Well, there's nothing stylish about this, but it's very effective.
Now, is that going to carry? Yes, it is. Graham Lloyd. Comfortably under it. Just judged it nicely. Kept everything still, made sure he got the hands underneath it. That's a good catch. Good man to get rid of too, Ian Healy, at this stage.
Well, Healy looking to get on with it. Found the gap down at that deep mid-wicket boundary an over or so ago. But Graham Lloyd has moved straighter. And, your comment about judging it well, I'm not so sure. Caught it very low.
Well, he judged it well. It was just the fingers at the end didn't quite close round it properly.
At any rate, Ian Healy is back in the pavilion.
Jason Gillespie is the new man at number 10. Well, it's Panama Day here. Panama on headphones. Not previously seen in the days of WG. That's got away from Graham Lloyd. Well, it was a handy blow. That's something of a hoik, and it's a good one. Into the space out there, wide of long on. Michael Kasprowicz looks as though he might be a useful golfer to me. That's out. Miscued. Graham Thorpe takes a simple catch. Jason Gillespie not timing what was intended to be a very big hit. And Darren Gough has 5 wickets.
Well, it's been a terrific performance by Darren Gough. He's been head and shoulders above every other bowler today. deserves the 5-wicket haul that he's got. He must be deciding that now is as good a time as any to have a swing and to get a few runs on the board. We didn't quite connect properly with it. That's Graham Thorpe. Just recover being able to snaffle the catch.
Glenn McGrath is the final man Australia have on hand today. That's got him, that's wrapped it up. Lovely piece of work from Alex Stewart.
Well, this is a fine bit of stumping by Alex Stewart. Never easy down the leg side, but he's taken the ball cleanly and the stumps have come off in a flash. A lot better batsman than Glenn McGrath would have got out to that.
Australia failing to use up the full 50 overs. Missing out on the last 5 deliveries. And finishing up with a total on 269.
Well, for England, Darren Gough made swift inroads there with 4 wickets at the top, but Mark Waugh played a splendid innings, full of control, lovely strokes. He scored 95 with support from Langer and Gilchrist and Healy, and some decent blows at the end from Kasprowicz, not out 28, 269 all out. And England fielded extremely well again. Darren Gough's 5 for 44 was the outstanding effort, but some excellent slip catching too, and some tidy bowling from Elam, who came back well for 2 for 47. And so England required 270 runs to win the match at 5.4 runs per over. When England batted, McGrath opened up with a maiden over, and we joined play the first ball of the second over. Kasprowicz to Stewart.
And a wide. A good shot for 4. First ball wide down the leg side, the next one round about the pads. And 4 runs to Stewart. We saw Mark Elam do that a number of times, getting in very close to the stumps. Kasprowicz is having an interesting start. He's gone through and he's hit the stumps there. And the non-striker needs to be careful because he's out of his ground. Although, if Kasprowicz had any intent there to run him out the non-striker's end, the attempt must be made before the bowler completes his delivery action. Nice stroke, one of the favourite strokes Stewart employs. The back foot force away past point or through cover point.
Yes, he's a quality player off both feet, is Alex Stewart, but he impresses off the back foot. Not everybody can play as well as he does.
Exquisite timing. There's 2 strokes in this over off Australia's #1 fast bowler. And looks like the first wicket according to the Australians, but not according to umpire George Sharp. Not according to Captain Michael Atherton either.
Well, it's always a surprise when so many of the slips from wicketkeeper go up. If it was a nick, it was a very fine one. There was very little deviation at all, but you can see they're all up immediately. The keeper's gone up, slips. Sometimes you'll see somebody in the slips area going up on the wicketkeeper's shout, or vice versa, but they all went up together.
This time, LBW, Atherton hasn't looked around at the umpire. He's gauged from the roar from the players and from the crowd that the umpire has given the decision. Now, I'd be interested to see where that hit him. I just had the feeling it was reasonably high. and wasn't all that far from the inside edge of the bat either.
Well, I think Michael Kasparovich surprised him because he'd been trying to make everything go away, running down the slope, and then he just nipped that back sharply. Big wicket for Australia after Michael Hatherton's wonderful 100 yesterday. New batsman is Ben Holyoke, his first one-day international. Big moment for him. Bowled quite well.
What a delightful stroke. Quite a nice way to get off the mark in your first big match.
I love it, I love it. Welcome to international cricket. McGrath just letting him know that this is a big game. He may have got no ball for it, for ball going above shoulder height. But he just wanted to let the youngster know that he's around.
Along the ground, and poor Kasparovich really is having no luck at all here. That's a fine shot. But one thing you must give Ben Holyoke is when he does go for the drive, he absolutely commits himself.
Yes, you get the impression that he's just defending until he gets an opportunity to whack the ball. He doesn't bother about keeping it on the floor, he just stands and delivers.
Certainly can hit the 4 balls. Not often has Glenn McGrath over-pitched on leg stump. But that's sailed away for 4.
Well, it's nice to see a youngster coming in and not being fazed by the big occasion. I can see more young players being given an opportunity by England. They tend to leave it too late before we get them into the international arena.
Slightly slower ball, but the slower it came, the quicker Ben Holyoke went down the track at it. It wasn't to the pitch of it, but he had no hesitation at all in following through, picking it up. Over long off, and that's 4 runs. And there are problems here for Steve Waugh, the Australian captain.
Well, this knocked the stuffing out of Glenn McGrath. A little shuffle to leg side, down the pitch, and launch him into the outfield.
Ben Holyoke now has overtaken Alex Stewart. Holyoke has 30, Stewart 28. Oh, little nick and all the luck in the world, but it's not going the way of Michael Kasparovich.
Well, if you take your slip out when the bowler is bowling outswingers, which he has done most of the time today, then you deserve for it to go for 4 instead of it being caught.
So it's Shane Warne now from the pavilion end here at Lord's.
That's a fine shot. Dead straight down the ground. This should be a good contest.
Well, it was very full from Shane Warne. There's one thing about Ben Holyoke is he's very correct. Plays each ball on its merits. Certainly that needed hitting, and he hit it really well.
Very clever. Very cheeky too. Alex Stewart coming back for 3rd. Taylor, just watching from the comfort of the players' balcony today. One bounce and 4. And that boundary takes Ben Hollioake to 50. 51 not out, made in genuinely carefree style. It's taken him just 37 balls.
Well, it's been a terrific innings. Bit of a surprise for the crowd that he came in at number 3. But he hasn't let them down. He's played some super shots.
Dropped him. That was a sharp chance. Well, it's still going the right way for Ben Hollioake. That brings up England's 100. That's a big hit. Six runs. Well, there's nothing complicated about this. It really is a question of seeing it, hitting it, standing back and enjoying it.
Well, this is pitched outside leg stump. A genuine shot. He's picked it up magnificently, and that's the longest boundary on this ground today, and it's gone 10 rows back.
Finally he goes. Jason Gillespie has got the wicket of Ben Hollioake. Caught in that deep gully position. And that brings to an end some marvellous entertainment from the man here making his debut for England in one-day international cricket. The supposedly tender age of 19, but he's dominated proceedings. Straight in to Steve Waugh there. Nice, comfortable, catchable height for him. And deservedly, Ben Hollioake returns to a very warm welcome. Ben Hollioake caught Steve Waugh, bowled Jason Gillespie 63, and the measure of that innings can be seen by the fact that Alex Stewart, who opened, is not out 37.
Over the top of it. Well, I think the replay will show that the fieldsman should have stopped that. That he just misjudged the dive, if indeed the dive was totally necessary.
Well, it was a good shot in the first place. Punch off the back foot. But, yes, indeed, this angle might show it better. Dived over the top, went too far, in fact. Well, the current run rate is in good shape. Over the runs per over.
Beautiful stroke. How many people played better than Alex Stewart? Square of the wicket on the offside. Always over the top of the ball and great timing. After 15 overs, Australia 88 for 3 and England 72 for 1. After 25, 142 for 3, the Australians, in England 139 for 2. So England are well on course to have this turn out to be a really good contest. Wasn't fooled about with that one. Slower ball, which he picked fairly quickly. The 3 for it, and it'll be Alex Stewart's 50. Nice hand. A very good common sense innings. He started briskly. Then when Ben Hollioake came in, he stepped to the background, Now he's at it again. Michael Bevan is the man coming on. Left arm over the wrist spin. Good start. Crawley is very severe on anything short. Bowling figures, McGrath 37 off 7, and he was harshly dealt with by Ben Hollyoake. Espovich 1 for 40 bowled well. Warren has had 33 from 7, Gillespie 30 from 5. So England well on track.
That's a fine shot. Lovely timing and very well placed backward of square. And that's a 50 partnership. And nothing quite going right for Shane Warne today.
No, this was short. Crawley doesn't miss out on those.
It's 4 more runs. Fine shot by Alex Stewart. Very confident in the way he's actually reading Bevan. Picking the ball as turning in sharply towards him, and quite easy about pulling the ball well across from off stump, over mid-wicket for 4. That's short, that's bashed away on the leg side. Some thumping cricket from Alex Stewart. He's caught him. Alex Stewart levered that out quite too deep mid-wicket. It was well timed, but straight to the fielder. And he won't be very happy with that. Really, Mark Waugh was presenting no serious problems to his batsmanship, but he lofted that down to deep mid-wicket. And it was Langer who took the catch.
Well, he shouldn't be happy with this. Mark Waugh is bowling sort of non-spinning, occasional off-spinners that you wouldn't expect in a charity match. He's just got himself out there with a lapse of concentration. He's played beautifully, paced his innings nicely, allowed Hollyoake to play wonderful shots while he's collected at the other end, and then just when he just needed to keep on batting sensibly, he's given his wicket away.
New batsman Graham Thorpe. So the major run getters are both gone now. Alex Stewart for 79, Ben Hollyoake for 63. $200 up.
Made 4 out of that one. All the work being shared round here. Steve Waugh has had to employ himself and his brother to try and bolster this attack. It hasn't really worked for them. And it's going to be Jason Gillespie from the pavilion end. That's pulled away very strongly. Oh, John Crawley enjoying his return to the England one-day side. Dropped him. Judging by the reactions there, Ian Healy with a difficult one there.
Well, a very difficult chance here. Catching the edge, and Ian Healy, they either stick or they don't.
And the single brings 50 for John Crawley. Also takes the partnership to 50 in the same moment. Yeah, it's been a fine innings. 50 from 68 balls. Just what he and England needed at this stage. That's a good catch. It would have been a good catch. Looked to start with as though Shane Warne had managed to go low to his right and clutch at the ball, but it ended up on the ground again.
Well, it's one of those that carried comfortably and just didn't stick.
Works away to the onside. That's 4 all the way, I hope.
Jason Gillespie, and this is the 47th over. Good stroke, beautiful placement. Gone. Well, one of the few misunderstandings we've seen, and Crawley is the man who's on his way back to the pavilion now after an excellent piece of fielding.
Well, this was a very good bit of fielding. Looked 4 all the way. But Gilchrist down there on the third-man boundary picked the ball up and threw it back in. Crawley thought the ball was going to be going to the keeper. That's why he ran. Thorpe saw the fielder throwing the ball to the bowler's end and felt he couldn't make it, so turned the run down. Confusion reigned, and unfortunately, John Crawley has to go back to the pavilion. But here is someone who's used to seeing England home, Adam Holyoake.
And overthrows. Done it. It might have produced the run out. There was no single there. Had the throw been good, ball had to hit the stumps and needed the man to be backing it. Well, you wouldn't believe that anyone would do that at this time, that the fieldsman would throw it in such a way that there's a chance of it hitting the stumps and that the bowler wouldn't be in there trying to catch it. And that's it. Just away from the man at short cover. Victory to England by 6 wickets once again. 6 wickets, 6 wickets and 6 wickets, and they have been the better side. They've outplayed the Australians in all departments. Thoroughly deserved their victories. 3-0 in the Texaco Trophy of 1997.
Well, a really attractive and smooth innings by England there after losing Mike Atherton very early on. Ben Holyoake, 19 years old in his debut, 63 of 48 balls. Terrific performance that, and with Stewart put on 93. Stewart and John Crawley put on 80, and Thorpe, he had no troubles at all, 45 not out, 270 for 4. It was a struggle for Australia, however. The big Australian seamers, I thought, were short of luck early on, but overall they were short of backup bowling of the top class. Just look, there were 7 bowlers tried there, and without great success.